a little tally chart.
Chill tally chart.
Oh,
like
we've gone live.
So here we are. This is the ESA Gamer Grand Final, powered by Ozone Gaming. VanillaTV, Arx and Beta bringing it to you with DavidTheWin on the stream. This is Epsilon versus Broder. And Arx, run us to this first mid, my friend. And I see a crits, I swear I do.
Right, well, as the teams do make their way into middle, we will have a look if any of the medics are running crits. It does look like they are at the moment. As our first two casualties, Broder, this is not going well for them. 3 players down. They have replied with getting Numlock down, but that means that the rest of their team has had to fall out of the choke point. Mike looked like he wanted to chase them, but I think well, their medic of Raymond has called them back. So we will just have to see as Stefan is making his way towards the spire. Soldier of Zebosai is on there just to block it, but Soldier's come up onto the spire behind him. He might have a go over onto the medic, but great shot from Rib there. Takes him down. Zebosai also slightly overextends, jumping out. Medic's going to get forced here. The Uber is forced as a Soldier retreats from the spire.
Very frantic start to the game right now. Jukebox is caught up top as he tries to escape. We did follow Mike into that first mid. Surely Marilyn going to get caught here. He's actually surrounded.
Wow.
Numlock's trying to stick him off. He finally gets him.
Check out the back cap though.
There is a back cap. I don't think they're going to get it. Oh, someone came into block. No, yeah, someone did just come into block. But Bash in the end getting the spire. As we see Bibbin almost wanting to go for that shot on Mike. He may come out behind him. Bibbin's got a free run onto Raymond here. Dodges around, misses the first couple of shots. A massive meat shot does not take him down. Raymond about 30% health there. So close, Arx, and that would have been a round changer.
It definitely would have. At the moment, Epsilon have this massive Uber advantage. They're going to be fully aware of it as well. It's almost like they want to push some players in or go now. And Raymond still doesn't have his Uber. He's only on 85%. Well, 95% now. Heavy is sitting down on the point of Tompo. He's fully overhealed, so he's going to absorb a lot of damage as this Uber comes in. And actually, with Numlock down, that might have just bought them enough time. I'm wondering if Broder are going to try and push out on this. Bibsy does go down. So that is one player. Uber's come in. Medic looks like he's going to go down to a scout. Scout is over onto the point. Heavy's trying to block it. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Well, should I say they've stripped him of the overheal. And there's just Heavy and Soldier. Soldier's going to go down on the next rocket. 2 scouts come in. Meat shot the Heavy, and that is it. First round going to Epsilon with, wow, Bash going massive on the frags.
So 27 minutes remaining of this first half. This is Epsilon versus Broder. This is the ESA Grand Final. Map 1, if you have just joined us. And, well, what a frantic start to this first map. But let's follow Jukebox this time. In follow, we follow Zebosai to this second mid as the Broder team fancy that valley push. Zebosai coming up through the house on the far right-hand side. He's actually got in behind. Free shot onto Raymond, but there's a Soldier up behind him. Jukebox and Zebosai both onto the Soldier of Epsilon and Raymond there, and it looks like they're getting more positioning, better positioning, but the 2 scouts of Broder have had free roam everywhere. Bash and Stefan have done massive damage. Mike still with his medic and gear, most importantly up, so 2 soldiers versus only the scout of Broder and Zebosai, and well, we just saw Cookie go down, so it's going to be another Epsilon mid-fight, Arx.
Yeah, problem with Cookie there, well, really needs to stay alive, but I guess he wanted just to get something done. It's probably better to die early. Jukebox is running sniper, so we can expect him to be over onto that balcony. He is fully charged. Hopefully, we're probably going to go for a full charge body shot on the medic if he goes around the corner, but I think Epsilon can predict that and are deciding to go the valley route. It is safer. They know that Jukebox went down early, so they have opted to go through that resupply route. They do have their Uber. There's going to be no opportunity for that sniper to get a shot on them. Scout is up on the spire. He is trying to avoid the sniper shots while...
They're on crits as well, Arx.
Oh, wow. This is going to be brutal. Yeah,
Marilyn's trying to do his best to dodge away. I might run into a scout here, trying to actually... He's hiding behind the blue barrels at the bottom in front of the last CP. He's not even going to get back in time. It's finished off, so 2-0 the score. This is very, very fast start to this first map. Not exactly how Broder wanted to go, and Arx, we do actually have their comms. Shall we see what they think about the score so far?
By all means.
And 2 players our house. I mean our shit house.
We'll catch him after the next mid-fight, Arx. So this is round 3. We're following Numlock from that house area. Just wanted to see what Raymond's, if he's still following that crit. No, he isn't. He's still back to regular Ubercharge. Better positioning this time from the Broder team. All in front of their train. But it's almost like a mirrored fort. But hold that fort. Raymond gets caught by one of Rib's pipes. And there's no medic now for Epsilon. But Broder still needs to keep the damage dealers alive. And they don't. 2 scouts. And Marilyn's in trouble here. He ends up leaving his 2 scouts. And it's going to be Stefan versus Marilyn. Stefan winning. And only going to be Bibbin left versus Demoman of Numlocked and Stefan. And well, there we have it. Another mid-fight for Epsilon. And potentially another round in the bag, Arx.
It was asking quite a lot from Bib, and then he had 2 scouts. He decided to go head into the scout that was chasing them through choke. Well, head on to him just so that they could... and wow, hang on, Bash actually killed that soldier that went up to Spire. Wow, crazy. Bash is on form, Bibben not so much today as Rip does manage to take him down. But yeah, Bibben didn't have really too much of a choice. He went aggressive into the scout, and another scout came out of the house. And he wouldn't have been able to deathmatch 2 of them anyway, but... yeah, that has put Broder in a bit of a tricky situation. They are only on 40% Uber.
Raymond's running crits.
There we go. So they've realised that their medic went down earlier, so they can get that crits creek advantage.
Here it comes.
They are going with Numlock there, and actually players are up on the spy. That
Crits
first
are
thing he
in.
couldn't get him. Takes down the medic and his pocket soldier. Soldier has jumped over to try and get that medic down. Medic of Raymond very weak. Demo Man's committing to it as well. It's probably a smart play because, well, he wouldn't have been able to do much to defend this Spire on his own anyway. So Epsilon are going to be taking this Spire. One scout is on for the back cap, but well, he's going to get taken down over on the choke point. Epsilon are going to be getting this Spire. There's still a few seconds for a spawn. Bash is going in early. Maybe to see if he can get something done or just have a little poke in there. Actually, they are committing to this. Wow, Soldier of Jukebox does go down. Scout over onto the point. Devilman's still there. There's just the medic alive. He's got to wait another, well, no more seconds for the scouts to come out, and it looks like they're going to back off for the time being.
Yeah, someone's still trying to creep around the left-hand side. Gear now coming in as well to pile on the pressure. Almost like rubbing salt in the wound for the moment for Broder. They know they're in trouble as all the Epsilon players now come in through the front door. They need the damage dealers there. Numlock takes down Bibben and both Cookie. Marilyn gets caught as well. It's only 2 soldiers with no medic and Demo Man sitting back right at the moment. Epsilon probably thinking about just holding this and coming in back in with that Uber charge, which is now at 90%, but they say, hang on, no, we don't even need it, as now Shocky gets free roam onto that point. 3-0 the score. Change ends, Arx, and yeah, 23 minutes remaining, so that took 7 minutes for the 3-0 score.
Wow, to be honest, this halftime is probably something that Broder need here because the Epsilon scouts are on
Let's
fire
hear Broder. Let's hear
moment.
Broder. Let's
Okay.
hear what they're saying.
Then we'll have to deal with our show, and we'll have to deal with you.
Just watch out for the R-slope push.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe you gotta...
Yeah, go on, Arx. Yeah, pretty
apparently one of
demoralised.
Epsilon members is... No, sorry, apparently one of Broder's members is a dog. On the
I was
comms,
wondering,
from what I heard.
I wasn't certain if it was, but the random movements, I'm thinking Marilyn, mate.
It must be. Merlin
has
is
to be.
actually a dog. It's just... They've trained him to
Never
just
been to land,
straight
never
left,
been
straight
to land.
right.
It's making more and more sense.
That's it. He's Merlin the gamer dog.
And apparently it was Marilyn's dog. Apparently
Nice.
so. Oh, right, so second half coming up. Yeah. This is VanillaTV bringing you the second half of Map 1 ESA Gamer Cup powered by Ozone. Epsilon Esports versus Broder. Arx and Beta bringing it to you with DavidTheWin on the stream. We are following Numlock through the house. First sticky straight onto his mirror. The opposing house. Ribe takes a big sticky there. And I'm just trying to see the position of what Broder fancy this time. Of course, they're playing in red. One of the soldiers of Epsilon, it looks like Mike came all the way behind him on the train. And Marilyn's so weak. If Marilyn, one more hit on Marilyn would take him down. But again, the damage dealers, the 2 scouts of Epsilon doing so much damage, but they have lost 3 players, Arx. It's only Mike and Shocky who are left on that train, and they're almost like, come and get us. As now we see finally Jukebox coming, he's absolutely destroyed by Mike and Shocky. Oh my gosh, and are they actually going to win this mid-fight?
Yeah, this is absolute mental. These Epsilon scouts are fearless at the moment. I mean, I watched Bash go underneath the capture point and just sit right next to the players. It's just like, yeah, that's a meat shot, that's a meat shot, that's a meat shot. And it's just Stefan then sitting on the train, completely unfazed by the fact that he's got 3 players coming towards him, just firing out massive scattergun shots onto players, and just a great hold and a great defense of their medic. It was like a stone wall just sitting in front of their medic there.
So at least we haven't had a round on the board on this second half just yet, otherwise we would have been thinking second map very quickly. Finally, Epsilon now getting up. Oh, Marilyn and Zebaside both get caught by Numlock stickies. He was actually sitting below them in the lobby area. Mustn't have been called, and basically that is basically near enough the end of the round. And there's a scout on there already. Oh my gosh. Bash had already gone to last. Good comms and good round.
Yeah, this has got to be rattling for Broder. I mean, they've put in a lot of effort into this tournament so far today. They're going to need to respond. It might be at the point where they're going to have to write off this map. Obviously, it's still early days in this grand final, but we are going on to the second round of the half. Could potentially be the final round if Epsilon take it. And we do have Gear jumping towards the choke. Merlin goes flying and got pretty weak from that. Bash is fully overhealed. Raymond does go down. It looks like Broder could take this mid, but Stefan is still there. A problem. Meat shot in Bibsy there. Merlin running off into the house. Stefan does get taken care of, but there's another scout coming in. Oh, wow. Great play from Rib. Took both of them down. One soldier of Mike is coming out to play. He's got decent health, but he's got to fight against an overhealed Demoman and medic. He is up on the train. Sticky comes in, taking a massive shot, jumps over onto the medic. Wow, it looked like the medic nearly got an Ubersaw over onto him, but Mike does create a Rib being the Broder superhero on this midpoint.
Yeah, for a second I thought he might actually do it, but Rib getting with that pipe. Shocky is running sniper. I'm just trying to see where it is, but they've come through that front spawn entrance way through the valley, and in fact Shocky managed to ride that away. So many players turned around to get him. They will get that spire. I'm just seeing where Epsilon's sitting. They've gone for the full defense, sitting back right, building very fast at that Boston Basher as well. And they will have it before Broder get it. Whether they know this, we'll find out very shortly, Arx. As we see now, Broder just securing that upper lobby area, building bottom right as well, just slowing it down really. They know that they haven't got the advantage, and it looks like Epsilon do know about it. They're coming from lower. They are coming from lower. Uber hasn't been popped yet. They do well to hold on to it. They want to make sure no one comes through that lower left behind them, and Arx, that could have been their chance.
It very much could have been. There was a soldier and a scout. They were almost expecting Broder to make a play coming through the bottom right entrance. To the last point, they had it covered. They thought, well, okay, if we push out balconies, I'm actually really impressed with Epsilon and how they read that situation, that could be a possibility. And they pushed most of their players out main, one out lower, and had two ready to defend. But Broder have come in with the Uber. Counter Uber has been popped from Epsilon. Zeboso does go down to Stickies from Numlock, so they are a player down already. Epsilon, well, pushing out very aggressively into the top lobby section. Are they going to try and continue this outside? Stickies are on the balcony, but it looks like Numlocked and Bash are pushing out of the balcony a little bit. One scout is down there stopping Numlocked from coming out of that hole, the drop down, and Epsilon are now out on the balcony. Yeah,
they are. Raymond took a massive meat shot from one of the scouts behind, but he's managed to stay alive, and in fact they've gone out, done some damage, and thinking about rotating back in. If Zebazai gets caught here, which he doesn't, but no one's sitting with Maryland, finally rejoins with his Ribe, Demoman, Protector, and Mike and both Bash get caught outside. Numlock thinking about coming out to play as well. No, in fact, he's just going to Sticky up on for the defensive. Oh, and the Stickies, in fact, do catch Jukebox as they walk in. As we see Raymond's bow coming in to heal Numlocked, and Maryland caught as well, Arx. As I turned away, he got caught.
See, this is the situation where I'd kind of want to make some sort of play, just try and keep Epsilon back on their last. They have got a huge Uber advantage. Epsilon sending players out, well, there was Cookie sitting in a little hidden spot ready to try and make that play. I don't know if they can afford to lose any more players like that, though. And Epsilon are coming out. They're pushing up towards the choke with Demoman, just trying to stick them off. There is a sniper in play. He's desperately trying to get something done. That's Jukebox running sniper, but Epsilon are going to be retaking the Spire, and, well, Epsilon are also going to be moving into mid quite quickly.
Yeah, Jukebox actually going for a fully charged shot as well. He's sitting in the house, and in fact he is looking in the relatively right direction, misses the first shot, has been called now, and in fact Soldier went for a peek again. Wow, a very brave Soldier. Soldier just come jumping. Jukebox does not hit the shot. Finally gets on Mike, so there's a big loss first there. Will that prevent that push? Probably not, and in fact it does. Epsilon have gone back. They lost Mike and thought, you know what, we're just going to wait, and yeah, they're almost like saying to Broder, it's your turn.
Well, with no disrespect to Gear, Mike is a massive loss. You lose Gear on one of those pushes, they might still go in, but Mike's deathmatch ability is just sublime on Soldier. In comes the Uber from the choke from Broder. Counter Uber well held from Raymond there, just for a few more seconds, and that's basically made the Broder push almost impossible. See, the Uber's still on, like, as Broder will be looking to come back in. Numlock wasn't able to secure that choke point. The Scout's putting a lot of pressure on him underneath. There is Bash protecting him. The soldiers jump up to the Spire, trying to put some damage in. Jukebox with a headshot over onto Gear. That's one of the soldiers down. Numlocked is weak. Bash was also quite weak, and Mike. Broder could go for this, but obviously with that sniper, they're one deathmatch class down. They are being bullied back out of this choke point. Pistol shots coming in, and we're just going to see if Mike's going to try and carry this into choke. He has rocket jumped in, does manage to take down Jukebox, gets a nice rocket on the medic, turns to the scout, weakens him as well, and Epsilon just bullying Broder out of this mid. And wow, some great play from them here.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, well played by Zebasai. Took away like 3 players looking at the choke by just literally dancing around with escape plan on the Spire. But then they just bullied him out. They just had no choice. There's so much spam, so much focus spam. Works so well. And now look at them, they're on the offensive. Zebasai gets caught trying to jump through. Uber's been popped as well. This is not looking good for Broder on this choke. They've fallen back. They know they can't hold it. They're going to fall all the way back. Only Ribe and the medic there. And Ribe needs to be careful not to get caught here. It looks like one of the soldiers came into block, and it was Jukebox. And again, now it's Jukebox's turn to make sure he doesn't get caught. And he does escape. And Epsi, 2 scouts on the Spire, taking that relatively easy Arx. And if they move quickly, they will take last with an Uber versus nothing.
Indeed, indeed. This could potentially be the last round. Yeah, this would bring the score if they manage to secure this to 5-0 in favour of Epsilon on this first map. Broder at the moment needs to do almost the impossible, and that's 5-0 Epsilon to win this map. So, I mean, how many teams do you see do that aren't American? But in comes Epsilon from the top. Uber has been popped very early. There is no counter Uber available. He's only on 80%. Medic does run into the spawn.
On point.
And while they are getting pushed back, but the scouts weren't there to come in with those stickies on the point. They're unable to jump on there and get any time on this. This could be a failed push.
Someone needs
Epsilon
to take the hit.
But a lot of weak players, if somebody could clean up, but the counter Uber is popped. That's going to put the Uber advantage firmly in Epsilon's favour, but they've only got 2 players alive. It's a Demo Man and Medic. I don't think they're going to be here to make a play. So the question is, can Broder take back this Spire fast enough before the rest of the Epsilon players come here? Oh, it's going to be tricky. No paint trains. There's no paint trains on the Spire. Okay, right, so they are going to be taking this Spire back. There is no backcap play onto last. Epsilon not running any spies, so Epsilon do, however, want to come in very quickly. They know they've got an advantage, and if they can brute force this Spire, they might be able to even rush into last. They're just trying to get a bit of damage over onto them now, but it's not working for Epsilon. Lost 2 players already. Broder, excellent healing, but the medic does go down. We do have Gear coming in behind them, takes him down,
Uber's
so that's
popped.
No medic. But wow, yeah, Uber popped on mid.
Yeah, they had to use it to keep Numlocked alive. It was Zebasai that came in behind him. Almost got him, but Uber came in to save and do the job. Now they fell all the way back to their Spire, and Broder will cap this 3rd point. Good change of pace from Broder, and let's listen to the comms quick while we have this a little bit downtime and over. Hold that for Epsi want to come in and say, no, we've not actually finished giving up this point yet, and it costs them Gear, Jukebox in return, so that is a nice trade. But will they do anything? Numlocked again looking like he wants to come up and contest. Both teams don't have that Uber at the moment, but Broder just all sitting in that spam spot at the back of the train. All we need is just Numlocked to keep on chucking those stickies and rollers over there, and they have held on to that midpoint Arx.
Yeah, when a medic gets to sort of around the 70%, 75% mark, that's a time when the other team's going to be unsure of how fast you've been building your Uber. And by moving forwards, you're almost implying, hey, we're on 90%. So it's almost like Epsilon are abusing that fact and going early, as the Uber is popped for Epsilon over onto Spy. Counter Uber can be popped. Merlin does get it. Sorry, it's a crit. As crit goes in on the scouts, which scout is that? It looks like it's Bib, and can he hit more of his shots? Great play there from Jukebox, who seemed to lag. He does get taken down by Bash. 3 players alive for Broder. One of their scouts is there, and wow, Stefan coming up. Bash coming up behind and just taking care of the medic and demo combo. There is a good 7 seconds for the 3rd spawn for Broder. They have got 1 soldier and a scout to try and defend this last. Players are moving into the last point now, and I don't know if they can hold this.
Yeah, that was a great play by Bash there. Took down 3 of the Broder players, just dancing around the Spire. Raymond 65%, and Marilyn has not even started building yet. Crits is not going to be there in time. It's only 10%. This is going to be very interesting and probably a one-sided affair. Epsilon now moving into that lower lobby area. Gear up front, just clearing it out. And Mike already at that front door, just that main entrance to that last CP. Surprised, yeah, I was going to say, surely Broder going to run a Pyro, which they do. 60% crits, so they built it fast. Obviously building that Boston Basher. Epsilon needs to move quickly, otherwise they could be a potential 6-stick, and they do use that Uber early. Numlock gets caught, so big loss there. Bibbin and Tompa both caught as well, so it's Cookie. And, Marilyn just had it. They have it. Crits are in. And Gear goes down, and they have held it. It's only Mike left up top left, and they have held it. And Numlock was the first respawner, and that is a wipe for Epsilon.
This is one of the downsides of pretty much always doing the same style last push. Epsilon usually lead in with their scouts, get their scouts to run in, pressure the medic back, and then the scouts head for the capture point. That baits players to drop down, and the rest of their combo cleans up. The problem that happened there was the 2 scouts, they ran in, jumped both of them on a sticky trap, and instantly got annihilated, meaning no time, no baiting players to the point, and that allowed them to push out. Now, they haven't managed to get this spy yet. Scout is going out there a bit risky, I might add, because there's a soldier on the spy.
As well,
now
mate.
they've only got a Medic and Demo Man against the world here. Demo Man's surely going to go down. Medic could get chased as well. He's having to fall back to last. He is going to have Zebosai for defense, but there's only going to be well, those two and a Pyro. Pyro sitting up top at the moment, trying to defend this last. Epsilon do have the player advantage here. Scout's also going to be able to defend, jump down onto the point. It is 20 seconds for Jukebox, who's the Pyro who just went down, so it's long spawn times as an Uber does come in.
Maryland's caught straight away as well, so close to his crits. Surely it's going to be Epsilon around, but the respawners are coming in. And it looks like Broder going to hold on to it again, as now Gear comes in as well. There's a skill scout floating behind him. Gear does finish off Ribe, and Raymond, the only one left, as it goes for a cheeky bow whilst running away back onto that bridge area and falling back out towards Spire to rejoin up with his damage dealers, his combo, and it's Shocky rejoins. I'm just going to see if Maryland's still running crits. No, he isn't. He has gone back to Ubercharge. And so they're hanging on, Arx. They're hanging on. 17 minutes remaining of this second half of the first map of this ESA Grand Final. We are VanillaTV's Arx and Beta, bringing you the match. DavidTheWin on the stream today, as he has been all day, bringing you every single bit of clip of action all day for VanillaTV. So thank you for that. And now we are seeing a spy play. Just misses out. I was so interested in doing the introductions. I thought I saw a spy, but I thought it was two spies in play actually. Both Bash and Jukebox were running spy, so I was following the other one. But it has allowed now, it looking like Epsilon fancy it. Uber has been popped. Mirroring counter. Uber comes in straight away. Cookie is caught though. Just trying to see who's going to think. I'm watching the flanks, Arx. There is a scout of Broder just hanging around back left. Good play by Bibbin. It's going to be versus Shocky on that far left hand side. He doesn't, and Raymond's caught. So Raymond is caught. And it looks like Epsilon fancy. They are coming, rotating back in. So this is a fakey push. This could be
bad though.
Epsilon's so good at doing these fakey pushes now. 2 damage dealers. It's just going to be Spy to cap it. Surely not. Sticky still remaining on point for Ribe. Someone needs to go up and take care of Ribe. And is it going to be the Spy? No, it isn't. The Spy does get taken down. There we go. But yeah, good hold again by Broder.
Yeah, I was going to say actually, if Bash played that smart, and if there, I'm going to say if there was better calls on Epsilon. I mean, obviously I didn't. We didn't hear their comms at the time, but they could have almost baited Broder to come out once they lost their medic and just allowed the spy to have the back cap. So yeah, they are opted to run that spy play.
It's in behind him, mate. It's in behind him, behind the CP, behind the last CP already. Disguises enemy scout has been called. Lucky Zebazai was just looking at him as he was building off the pillar. But will it make a difference? Let's have a look. So Jukebox running sniper as well, left hand side of the CP. Of course, Epsilon just building outside Boston Bashers, and both soldiers, one of them of course probably not running gunboats. Bit of a slowdown, and Shocky coming back as heavy. So something different in the pipeline for Epsilon here.
That's it. So they are trying the, I want to coin it as the American push,
the American
on Badlands last. We've got to say, it was the not mix up, it was the Leviathan Gaming push. As they do come in with their Uber at the moment, and that's actually a very smart thing to do if they've got a heavy coming in reasonably soon, because that is going to mean that the Ubers are gone. A bit of damage does come out, and when a full 450 heavy does rock in up top, which looks like he's going to be doing, this is going to be quite painful. Soldier gets a lot of damage on him initially, but I mean, he's only managed to strip the overheal off of him, as players are trying to push it in at the moment. Heavy is still walking down. He's got a good chunk of health, but they've only got 3 players left, 3 versus 4 at the moment. Have they got the damage to take care of them? It looks like they've at least intimidated them out. That scout can't afford to get picked off here, and that was Bibbin, and he is falling back to stay alive, but that heavy is still in play, and, well, he is going to be in for the next play.
Most importantly, Raymond actually got about 15% advantage there from taking so much damage hitting that heavy. Whether they know that, who knows? You know, such close. Jukebox running spy this time. Interesting choice. And Cookie onto Numlock. Numlock manages to take care of him just by that big med pack. So this is actually a potential chance here, as Epsilon potentially could catch another scout as well. And they've used their Uber. They've used their Uber in fact, and early as well. Counter Uber does come in, but it's not going to be much of an advantage. About like 10 seconds. Oh, sorry, 5 seconds, in fact. What am I talking about? And, oh, Merlin, does he get caught? Yes, he does. He does get caught by the heavy. And Gear taking care as well. But Epsilon losing so many players. Only Shocky left. And Raymond deciding, and most wisely, to fall back out. He does get the bow on the scout. And that is a wipe from Epsilon.
Right, well, this is their chance to push out because they did keep their 2 scouts alive. They've got to be a bit cautious here because Mike, well, he is alive and he can do some pretty crazy rocket jumps to get up onto that spy. 1 scout bash is coming up. Bibbin isn't full health, but he is sticking it out. He's got to get this capture point back. He doesn't get enough time on it. Doesn't finish the cap. He could have stayed there. 1 scout does just touch the corner again. Not quite enough time. Epsilon's in there. They're committing the 2 scouts to it. They haven't taken too much damage, so there's lucky for them, but Bibbin does go down. Other scout could find himself in trouble. No, sorry, Soldier of Zebosai does go down, and this means Epsilon going to be able to get some time on this point. The good news is those scouts will have respawned by the time the rest of them come in. The bad news is that there's a scout over onto the medic. Merlin gets taken down. Demo in trouble as well. As well, which scout was it? Bash comes in. Only 1 soldier alive. The 2 scouts are going to spawn, so there's going to be basically 2 scouts versus the world. But they've got to deal with a sticky trap and a demo man sitting on the capture point. Both of them get immediately fragged out, and Epsilon take the first map in this grand final, 5-0.
So there we have it, first map, and it's going to be Epsilon taking that first map, 5-0 the score, which means Broder picking the second map, and Broder have gone for Process.